singing even though I can't sing.
Every now and then I think about changing the intro to the podcast.
Yeah.
And then I listen to it.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah. We should kill that fan. It's still on.
Can I just turn off? I don't really think we need to sacrifice its life.
I don't know why you think that you're very funny. That's how we're going to start the podcast, with you just trying to be comical right off the bat. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Laugh and Be Blessed with your host, Jake Rubel, and your other host,
Chia.
That's it.
That's it. That's just me.
I didn't even give you any accolades.
That's okay.
Accolades.
You call me
Escalades.
your other host instead of the co-host.
Yeah, I thought we should just make it official.
Yeah. Not like manager and co-manager.
Yeah, you're like the assistant to the regional manager. This is a fun podcast.
Yeah.
There's a cat. There's going to be so many cat noise. It's going to get rough. It's because you open that door. You open that door.
No, they come anyways, even if I don't open that door.
But now they're going to be able to see. She's climbing up the wall. Oh, wow. I know. What are we going to do?
Should we let them in just so they're quiet while we do this?
Yeah, I think so.
All we want to be is nice to these cats. And
I'm trying. They're jerks.
They're jerks in here.
They're not nice kittens. They're not. Alice isn't too bad. But Althea's kind of a jerk. Like, she's just not a very nice cat. So we're just going to go ahead and let the cats in. This is a fun way to start that. We're just starting the show. It's just what we're doing, it's just how we're starting it.
Oh my god. I can't get this door shut. There we go.
Sorry. Should we just keep going or start over?
No, keep going.
This is just what we're going to do?
Let's go.
Hey, welcome everybody. This is just real life.
Oh, now she's being all sneaky.
Look at that. Yeah, she's just going to jump up on my lap here. So, I can't tell you how unprepared I feel now. Like, I took the time. I wonder if people can hear her purring, because I can hear it. I can hear it. She's purring real loud. That's okay. She's just an excited kitty. She's an excited kitty. She's inside, and she's very happy for that.
Alice, don't you dare. Alice Cooper.
Our cats' names are Alice Cooper and Althea, because, we just have cool animals. This is 3 minutes of nothing. No one's still listening to this. Oh my goodness. Hey everybody. Hi. I'll just keep saying that.
Just go.
To where? To where? I don't know what's happening.
You don't need to ever know what's happening.
Oh man, I just
this
feel.
This is just our life, Jake. Accept it, embrace it. Everyone else does.
Not this time. I don't think they'll be okay with this one. I think they're gonna be like, you know what, guys, that was a 3.5 minute intro of nothing.
Do you know how many people have pets and know how frustrating they are?
They're just ridiculous. Man, that is a cute kitty, though. I'll tell you.
She won't even sit still.
No, she doesn't like being held. Althea is cool with it, but Alice Cooper does not like being held. So, before we really get into anything, because we've not done anything at all other than just ramble for a few minutes, we just want to take this time to thank our Patreon supporters. So, Patreon's a wonderful website that you can go to help support any artist that you really like. If there's YouTube shows or YouTube channels that you really you like and you subscribe to, most of those people probably have a Patreon page, just like we do. So if you go to patreon.com/laughandbeblessed, you can contribute a few dollars each month to helping us be able to talk to you about kitty cats. And it's a fun thing that we like to do. This podcast has nothing to do with cats. If you're a first-time listener, we will not be discussing cats whatsoever. It seems fitting, though, talking about cats, to start off with thanking Fawn and Shan, Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for supporting us. We love you, and we support you, however we can. Also, Danielle, Rachel, Lindsay, Pam, Jared, thank you very much, and Anonymous.
Thank you.
We love you.
Friends.
We love you. And it's not that you guys don't like cats. I don't know what your feelings are on animals. I just know specifically what Fawn and Shan's feelings are on animals. So we just wanted to thank you guys. Thank you for helping us. We are very close to getting our mic. We've not ordered it yet, but that's all we got to do is we just got to order. We're just trying to find the right one for Chia.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna really, I think, up the quality of the show.
Do I get headphones too?
Yeah, I can get you headphones. You can plug them right into the mic. It's going to be very professional. It's going to be the real deal. This cat is purring right in my face. Yeah, it's fine. You're going to have to go lay down, though. Go. I love you. Go on. Go lay down with Georgia, the pup. So, I typically will tell you guys at this point in the show what shows are coming up for me. You know, where I'm going to be. Where you can see me do stand-up. I'm a stand-up comedian. You know, that's a thing that I like to do. And typically I would tell you, I'm not going to do that right now, though, because there's a lot of snow coming in. I've already had to cancel one show, and it's a very good possibility that I'm going to have to cancel more shows. Not me, but the weather and the location will cancel, because we just want people to be safe. We want them to have a good time. We want them to laugh, you know, but ultimately, let's just be safe and be smart. So we're not really going to get into shows or anything like that. But you know what we can talk about?
What?
Did you know what we can talk about,
No,
Chia?
I don't. You didn't tell me.
I want to bring people up to. She's just not going to leave me alone. I'm going to bring people up to speed on something.
Okay.
There is a YouTube show that is about a raccoon named Tito that just eats food, and it's the best thing I've ever seen.
Well, he has to choose what he likes best.
Yeah, it's like that.
A taste test.
Okay, so we're saying this like we really know a lot about this show. I watched one video of a raccoon that was doing a taste test between two different types of chips, and it was as if Heaven's Gate opened and sang down to me.
It's not like it was an otter, Jake. Calm down.
Chia, I don't know how to get through to you that I have to have a raccoon in my life.
No raccoons.
They're just the perfect blend of dog and cat with human hands. They're adorable. They're wonderful. They just hang out. I could put one in like a little knapsack, maybe. You know, what's a knapsack?
Is that a thing you take a nap in? No, I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense. Is a knapsack the thing that you would like a bandana on the end of a stick whenever I want to run away and walk down? I'll just put a raccoon in a knapsack and it'll hang out with me. I look like one. I think I probably should just go ahead and just go full blown. If anyone was going to be best friends with a raccoon, it's a guy who looks like me. Am I wrong? Do you want to have a conversation with me?
I had to look up a knapsack.
Do you want to do a podcast with me?
I do. And for one, I just realized that knapsack starts with a K, and I didn't think so. It's just a backpack. Is that
I
how
like the way
someone
I
else
said
says it?
I don't know. Knapsack?
Knapsack?
Look, everybody feels like I talk too much on the podcast and you don't talk enough, but what they don't realize
I'm always
is
looking stuff up.
you're
say these
constantly
crazy
on your
words.
phone.
You say these crazy words and then I have to verify.
Look, some people say backpack. I just feel like knapsack is funner.
Knapsack is.
Yeah. It's just a good thing to say. I don't know why aren't people saying it more? There's a lot of words that should be coming back.
I bet they do
Knapsack's
somewhere
one that just
other
come
than the U.S.
Probably because,
we say
pants are
dumb
trousers.
stuff.
Pants in other places are underwear. So if you're like, oh, my pants are falling down, you're basically telling other people your underwear's falling down.
I feel like, now I can't remember what people in the UK call their trunk, but it's a lot better than
It's
trunk.
the boot.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
the boot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Das Boot. I think that's German. All right, so let's get into some things.
Okay.
You finished your book.
I finished my book and it was awesome.
Yeah, you finished, so you read all of them.
Yes, I read all the Lord of the Rings. It's done. I finished it. It was great. The Return of the King is a good book, but Two Towers is definitely my favorite. Very, very excited. So now I have started 2 new books. One is an audiobook. It is the...
It almost sounded like you said naughty-o book. Like it's kind of like it's a naughty audio book. That's a naughty-o book right there.
I mean, I think those exist.
I don't know why they wouldn't.
It's like everything exists anymore.
You quit looking up stuff.
I have to
you
look
quit
up.
talking. You can't do two things at once.
So I can. So the audiobook I'm listening to is called The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. It's a historical fiction book. And then my other book I'm reading is by Atul Gawande. It's called Being Mortal, Medicine and What Matters in the End. My wonderful friend Danielle lent this to me, and it's pretty good so far. It's a nonfiction book. It's been a while since I've read nonfiction. So.
What's it about?
being
Mortal.
mortal.
Jeez, I knew you were gonna say that.
I'm so bad at explaining
It's just
things.
like about life, man.
But
It's just
It's
about
about
life.
how throughout the past, really even 30, 40 years, our life expectancy has grown so much, and how the things we do in life to try to stop death, and how it's going to come no matter what.
Right.
And how even physicians, there's oftentimes people in medicine in general, they don't like those areas because that's typically not what you go into medicine for. You want to help people, you want to make their life better.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the idea of helping usher someone into death is weird to us, but really that's a part of life in general. I mean, from the time we're born, we are working up to the day we die.
I mean, that's dark.
But it's true.
Yeah, it's just not. This is. I'm sad. It made me sad.
But that's the issue. It shouldn't be sad. It's just part of life.
The idea that is true,
of death
though.
at an old age does not make me sad.
No,
I
me
don't want to
neither.
live to be 100. That's insane to me. People who are, I'm happy for you, and I'm happy that your life's happy. But the idea of dying one of these days when I'm old, I'm like, all right, cool. That's what's gonna happen. I want to be in my bed. I want to be in my home, and that's another thing that the book talks about so far is the amount of people who even that are elderly die either in the hospital or an assisted living facility, and how weird that is because most people just died at home before.
Yeah.
And that's my goal for myself and for, our
Parents.
Our parents is when they get to that age, I want them to be in their home.
Yeah, sure. Be comfortable as much as possible and
Yeah.
everything. No, that's cool. That's good. And I actually thinking about stuff like that is a good thing because it also kind of helps put your entire life in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like little things that you feel like are just so tragic and so horrible really don't matter.
No.
Like this is a truth podcast, right?
Yeah,
truth time.
Or truthers.
Truth time. I got fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't going to talk about it, but I got fired from Screen Rant just like 2 weeks into the job.
Yep.
If that. And I was really beating myself up about it.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't happy.
Well, no.
It was something that I really worked hard for. I really thought that I was doing a great job. And then after I was let go, basically it wasn't like fired. It was just like...
well, you're kind of an independent.
Yeah, they just kind of ended my
Writers,
contract
yeah.
with them. I'm a freelance writer with them, so they were just like, well, we just don't feel like it's we're gonna move forward. I think one of the biggest issues is that when I describe something or I talk about something, it's hard for me to leave my personal feelings out of it. And I don't think they were liking that very much. The thing that really frustrated me though is they would give me revisions and I would do them, and I worked so hard on one article, and then I felt like I was getting like mixed feedback on it, and that could just be me not really working with an editor previously. Mm-hmm. And basically what happened was they were just like, well, unfortunately this just isn't a good fit, so we're gonna part ways. And at first I was like super, super upset because I'd been in a weird place anyways mentally for a while. And then that hit, and I was like, okay, I don't want to try anymore. I just don't want to try stuff anymore. And you had some good words for me. My mom had some good words for me, and a couple friends, like, were just really supportive and just helped kind of get over the hump. But ultimately, like, what a dumb thing for me to be super upset about.
Yeah.
It was a goal. I technically still reached the goal.
That's true.
I never said I wanted to work there for a long time. I just said I wanted to write for him. Yeah. And I did.
Yeah.
Technically, I did.
True.
But just those couple weeks that I was working with them was so stressful. Mm-hmm. Their onboarding process, I thought was like super, super difficult. And then upon leaving them and reading different reviews and then talking with this other website that I'm kind of starting to work with now, I'm not alone in that. Like, supposedly it's one of the hardest onboarding sites to work for. Like, just the onboarding process is incredible. So, and if you're not someone who's been writing for a super long time, it can be really, really challenging. And it was for me. It was just very challenging. But I am kind of proud of myself that I got through the entire onboarding process. And then what really tripped it up was that the assignment that they were giving me, I was putting my own voice on.
Yeah.
And I think that's what was really tripping me up, is I was needing to write it from a different angle. And it was hard for me to do that because it was something that was kind of focusing on like the specific dynamics of a television show. And they were like, you just keep focusing on like the fact that this person in the show is evil, and that's not really what we're asking. And I'm like, well, yeah, but that person's real evil. And they're like, but that's not what we're asking. I was like,
Yeah, but they are.
but they're evil.
Yeah.
So I was very bummed, but ultimately,
Well-
since it happened, the first couple days was rough. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I can focus on these other things that I'm writing about that I actually make more money with than I was going to make with them. It was a pride thing. Like the whole thing about me writing for this website was pride. It was pride that was like pushing me towards it. It was pride that I wanted to keep it because I wanted to be like, yes, I work for Screen Rant now. And I never flaunt like the things that I have. Really, I mean, I guess you could say I kind of do with like some of the shows I do, but that's literally just to let people know where they can come see me.
Right.
Like I'm marketing. It's
Yeah.
not. I'm not flaunting it. I want people to know, hey, you can come see me at the show. And I posted on Facebook like the moment I got that job and wrote my first article. I posted on Facebook that I work for them.
Yeah.
And whenever I did it, I felt weird because I was like, whoa, this isn't me. I don't really do this.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I did it because I was proud of it. And I think there's such a fine line between being proud and being prideful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There definitely is.
Yeah,
Yeah. You have to be careful.
and I was prideful.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Instead
look
of
what
just being humble and being like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like I kept bringing it up in conversations, and I felt icky every time I did.
Yeah.
Like someone's just like, so what do you got going on? I'm like, I got to write these articles and stuff. And it was like I just didn't like the guy I was being because I couldn't find that balance between being just proud and prideful. So ultimately, I'm happy that it didn't work
Yeah.
out because I think that it's going to be best for me
I
financially.
mean, it still sucks, but in the grand scheme of things, it's okay.
I also never would have left them
Yeah.
because of my pride.
Yeah.
But the guy that I've been working for like a year writing articles for him, that's always been great to me. He pays me beforehand now.
Yeah.
He pays me very well, I feel like, for the articles that I give him.
Yeah.
I get to pretty much set my own deadlines. I get to write about whatever I want. He's fantastic. He's just a really nice guy. And I feel like his articles were lacking. The articles I was giving him was lacking because I was so focused
Right.
on this other thing.
Yeah.
So I guess, what I was saying is like ultimately whenever you look at your entire life, these one little things that kind of like you feel like you really wanted something or almost like you willed it to be true, which I feel like we do, like me and you, we do that a lot.
You can. I mean, that's the energy you're putting out in the world. The entire universe is made up of different energies.
Yeah.
What's crazy is you said that. We were talking. So I went to church this morning. I haven't been to church in so long with the pandemic. Every time I think before this I went for a couple weeks in a row, a few months back. And then COVID started getting crazy and everything, spiking at the hospital. The vaccine wasn't out yet, and I just felt so guilty being there because, I mean, I love these people. I don't want to cause them to get sick. So I had messaged my pastor's wife and told her, hey, I still don't feel comfortable coming, just because I didn't want her to worry about me. So first, it was crazy talking about all this. The day that happened to Jake, he got some other negative news, and then I had got negative news about work. So we kind of had a triple threat going on there last Tuesday.
It's like one day we just kept getting hit with things.
Or it was Wednesday. That's when it was because I was off that night. So the day before, my pastor's wife had actually messaged me and asked how we were doing, just checking in. She likes to check in and make sure everybody's okay because, we're living in a pandemic. And I told her, yeah, I was actually wanting to message you. I wanted to check in on how strict the church was being on social distancing and everything because I want to come. I've been vaccinated. COVID numbers are down. But I still want to come with everyone being safe. So she reassured me. And then it was like I had been feeling that draw to be able to go back to church, and I think it was because this was happening. And me and Jake are spiritual people. We're not religious. We're spiritual people. And that's why I love...
Which a lot of times people just turn off right there.
Yeah.
But we don't mean that in any way.
No.
Religion, it has its place. I think it's great for a lot of people. It was great
true.
for us. It got us to where we're at. Our issue is that whenever we feel like, whenever we say we're religious, it's almost like saying that we know the truth, that this is 100% the only way
to live your life.
And that we're right and you're wrong.
Yeah.
And that's, and we're just super open-minded and we're just trying to find our place. So that's why we just say spiritual, because we believe in God, we believe in Jesus, and we're trying to do our best. But
and that's why I was going to say, I like going to church for specific reasons like this. Like, I feel like I needed to contact her and go to church because this was going to happen. And in a spiritual environment like that, and other people might not, and maybe that's why church doesn't work for everyone. I feel the love and that energy that everyone else is putting out. And the majority of people there, they really just love you and care about you and want to see, when people say, oh, I'm praying for you, most of these people really mean it. They mean in that sense, I care, and this is the only way I know to help you, is to put out my words to God. Some people say I'm going to put out good vibes, good energy. And to me, a lot of it is all the same,
yeah.
Like, so anyways, our pastor didn't preach this morning. Another man did who had been a missionary in the Congo. And he was talking today about power and, oh my God, what is the other word he used?
Well, he probably did talk about God.
No.
Because you said, oh my God. I'm sure he did.
But now I sound like an idiot. Whenever you have purpose.
There you go.
When you're doing something with a purpose, there's power behind that.
Oh,
but
yeah,
you can do things
with
without a purpose, like it's more self-fulfilling, and you'll still create power.
Sure.
But when it's not purposeful power, when that power you use for self is done, it's as if it was dust, nothing. Whereas the power you create with a purpose can go on. It's like and to me, I just could see an energy field, like building and building when you have a purpose.
Yeah, no, that's great. I like that analogy a lot.
And so as soon as he was saying the terms power and purpose, that's what I thought. I was like, that's the energy. So when you're putting out, and so I don't know. That was
no. I get what you're saying.
Of.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. You're so good at like beginning a thought but not knowing how to finish it.
But I see pictures in my head. It's like a movie, and I want to show you this movie in my head.
I don't want to see in there, babe. I don't want to see. I'm so
medicine.
Scared of the day that we're allowed to look in someone's mind.
Sometimes I'm scared because I'm like, I'm not very good at explaining things. Like, there's stuff at work. I know how it works. I can tell you. Or I can see how a medication works, or how a disease process works. I can't tell you. And then I'm like, I look like a really dumb nurse.
No.
But I see it. I see it in my head.
Don't. You're not a creative type like that. You don't think. You don't. Yeah. Even though you have a great imagination, and everything, you're just not.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
It's different. You don't know how to communicate that imagination.
I could tell you how I want a house to be built, and you could be like, all right, we'll draw it out. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Just see the pictures
and what's funny is
head.
Whenever I try to explain to you,
I hate it. I hate when you explain things to me.
I have to, and I'm like, let me draw it, and you're like, please, because you're like, I don't get it.
I need to see a picture.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you draw.
No, but
you need to draw the picture and then explain the picture to me.
Yeah, exactly. And I get what you mean though, like, and I think that's true, because how many times have we even put out there like, and this is so. I always use this as an example. It's so dumb and it's so material, but like, every single time that we need new furniture, we don't even need new furniture. I hate that word. We don't need it, but like every time we're thinking like, man, a new couch would be nice. Someone close to us, something happens to where we get a couch. Like someone will buy a brand new couch, even though they've only had their entire living room set for a year, and then we'll end up getting that. Or even one time, Chia's cousin worked for a living room center. And like, we were like, man, I would just love some new furniture. And then out of nowhere, we just kind of ran into him and ended up getting this crazy deal and got a great like new furniture. So it's like, and I know that's dumb, and it sounds like, well, that was just a coincidence, but it to me, it's not. It's like we were thinking about those things, and they came.
Here's the difference. So we'll want new furniture because we want to walk in our home and it be comfortable, or oh my gosh, there's always so many people over. There's not enough places to sit.
Yeah, we want more.
Or,
yeah.
So that's why we want it. If we were like, ugh, this furniture looks awful, and I want to be able to post pictures on social media so everyone thinks we have the best.
I got you.
We would still get it. But then something would happen because our energy behind it is the wrong kind of energy.
And kind of going back to
that has happened to us before.
Well, it just happened with my job situation. Yeah, it was the same thing to where it's like I wanted it, but whenever I was reading over the contract of like how much I would get paid per article and stuff, I was like, man, this is literally like half of what I'm getting paid right now. Mm-hmm. But man, I want it. And then it was while I was working there, I was like, this is the hardest I've ever had to write. And I'm getting paid so much less. Yeah. But I was like, but this is what I want. I want to work for this. It's going to be great for my portfolio. This is where I want to be. And then whenever I was so bummed the day, but then I was like, this is for the best. Like it really, and I do think it is. I feel so much better now. Yeah. And I think that was a lot of my anxiety, and that was a lot of like the depression trying to come back in and everything was just that. So we were talking about books. We were talking about books.
Well,
you talked about yours, and then it got into it. That's why I like you. We can just do this. You know what I
was going to say, though, is that other people...
We're done.
No, we're not. Other people can bring that same negative energy. We had... we bought a car one time off of a friend, and he gave us a great deal. It was like $2,000-$3,000 car, but it was a Mercedes.
Yeah.
And it was super exciting for me to have a Mercedes. However...
And
we had been through this before, and I was like, I'm not going to tell her when I have a Mercedes.
We won't brag. We won't talk about it. Because it's going to
make it sound like I went out and spent tons of money on this brand new Mercedes. And even when I'd go somewhere, I'd try to kind of park it out of the way because I didn't want people to think that I was trying to show off this car.
Yeah, because we got it for like super cheap.
Someone literally in a huge group of people said, who's that Mercedes out there? Someone's looking pretty nice. So, like, I didn't want to be a liar either and be like, well, that's mine. Broke down a week later.
Yeah, it was a week later. It broke down and unrepairably broke down. And it was driving like perfect the whole time.
Yeah, literally, like Jake drove somewhere to pick me up, and there was a rainstorm. And when we went to get in the car, we never lifted the hood or anything. It wouldn't start when we home.
We'd driven through rain before and everything. Yeah, it completely just wiped the thing out.
When we went back the next day to get it out of there, he lifted the hood, and it was soaking wet under there.
Yeah, it was weird. And, a lot of people could say these things are coincidences, but we just don't believe in that. We don't believe that these things are coincidences.
I do sometimes.
So, sure.
Some of these things,
some of them are, but I think a lot of times what you put out, you get back. Mm-hmm. And what you allow to go out about you sometimes kind of comes back too.
Karma.
But it's also,
I
don't think it's, and I don't think it's because necessarily that person was saying, "Oh, that car's so nice," but it wasn't even that. It was about how we reacted to them saying that at that point, because then it was almost like the reverse effect, where we're just like, "Oh, no, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that," and then it's like, well, now you're kind of crapping on the blessing, bro.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's a balance.
And none of these are certainties. None of these are things that we even 100% are sure about. These are just what we feel. These are just things that we feel.
I feel like that's what does keep us humble. So maybe we should, whether or not we're right in the belief, if it's keeping me humble, I want to do it. Yeah. It's the same thing where
it's true to us. Yeah. We find that it is true to us.
Yeah.
So I've also been reading.
Yes, you have.
We're talking about books right now. I hit a wall. I know.
Would.
And I did too, and everyone who listens to this podcast knew I was going to hit a wall. I hit a wall with Dark Tower Volume 4. I am not going to let it sit.
1,000-page book.
I know. I'm not going to let it sit for 2 years like I did the last one.
No, you'll finish it.
I think, what I think I'm going to do is I picked up another book that I'm reading really quick. And I think I'll probably read this book, then go back to that one and read a couple hundred more pages, and then pick up another book. I think I'll just do it like that. I'm just going to have to take, the old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And I'm just going to have to take smaller bites of this book. Mm-hmm. I don't know why anyone's wanting to eat an elephant.
I was like...
If you're real hungry.
Here's my thing.
But if you're real hungry, you're going to eat...
Why is that a saying here in the U.S.? Like, we just have elephants roaming around that we're like, how are we going to eat that thing?
I've never been to Delaware.
Yeah.
So I've not. I've just never been to Delaware.
They don't have them roaming around there, I promise.
But I don't know, because all you know is what media tells you, Chia, and you don't know if the media wants to keep. No, if I'm Delaware, if I'm Delaware,
Books told me.
all I'm saying is, if I'm Delaware, I'm not letting it out that we have elephants roaming around, because then everyone's going to want one, and everyone's going to come in. And these are my elephants. And maybe Delaware's thinking if we brag about all these elephants that we have, they're going to go away.
They're going to put out bad energy.
And they don't want to do that.
I see what you're saying.
You know, come to Delaware for the elephants.
How do they keep the media? How do they keep the media from knowing about the Delawarean elephants?
Well, the guy who owns the media lives in Delaware.
Oh, okay.
That's what it comes down to.
Thank you for clarifying that.
So I'm reading Ready Player 2. I'm reading Ready Player
You're
2
welcome.
now. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Ready Player 1 is my favorite book. I read it once a year.
And listen to it once a
year. And I don't always listen to it once a year, but I usually do. I at least read it once a year, but usually I'll read the book once a year, and then I'll listen to the audiobook once a year. It's so good. I love the book so much. And I'm reading the sequel. The sequel just came out, I think last month or the month before. It's not been out very long, and pretty much as soon as it came out, Chia went and bought it for me, because she's amazing. She knows that gifts are my love language.
They are.
I like pretty things, and I like her giving them to me. So it was nice. Just woke up one day, and she's just like, "Hey, I got you something." And she was real sneaky about it. Mm-hmm. It was a sweet thing.
Because I had to get it off Amazon, and as his mother knows, you can't get him anything off Amazon because
I get alerts.
He gets alerts.
Because everyone uses my Amazon account, which is okay. But then I get an alert whenever somebody buys something on Amazon. So it's hard to... And that's where a lot of people buy me things, is off Amazon.
But our awesome sister, Amber,
word up.
She was like, we were at work, and she said, well, why don't we just get it on my Amazon account, and then I'll bring it into work for you. And I was like, yes.
Nice. So I'm reading that. I think I'm on like the 4th chapter already, and I just started reading it, I think, yesterday. I'm going to burn through it pretty quick. It's good, but it's not... You can't replicate the first one. Yeah. The first one was so amazing. You can't do that again. It's a continuation of that story. But the only thing I don't like is that the story starts off with, like, the first book ended on a high note, and then this one starts off with ripping that apart. So that way the main character has to start on a low note again, like the first book. And then as it goes, I'm sure it'll build him up again, and then it'll end on another high note. Hopefully. So I understand the structure of it. I was just kind of disappointed that, like, the first few pages was like, oh, everything that you loved about the way that the first one ended is ruined now. And I was like, oh man, really? That kind of sucks. But I'm liking it. I'm excited to read it. And so that's all I'm reading right now, though. I'm not gonna. A lot of times I'll read multiple books at once, and I'm not doing that. I'm just going to read through this one. Then I'll read a little bit more of Wizard and Glass, and then I will put that down, and then I'll grab another book. And I don't know what the next one is going to be. It'll be another small...
Are you not going to do like a to be read list like I did?
Yours is pretty cool, and I might do that, but the only reason I don't want to do it is because my mood changes so often. Yeah. That, like...
See, my mood is always, I want to read these books that I've had.
No, and mine's like that, but I have so many of those. Yeah. And I read so many different genres. Yeah. Like, I'll read a lot of Native American history, but then I'll turn around and read Star Wars right after that. Yeah. Which is a different kind of history. Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
And sometimes I'll get in the mood for, like, Star Wars, and I'll read an entire, like, trilogy in a month or two. Yeah. And they're always great, and I always love them, but right now I'm not in that kind of mood. There's no way I could read something like that right now. So I don't know what I'll be in the mood for after this. There's a lot of them that I really...
I'll be reading after these.
What are you going to read after these?
A Man Called Ove. I don't know exactly what it's about. It's another book from Danielle. Okay. So I'll be reading that.
Yeah. You know what we should do, and we don't? We should assign books to each other. Ooh. Like a book that you think I'll like, but I would never read.
Well, you have to have a to be read list.
Though. Okay, I'll look into that because I think that'd be fun.
I would rather do that, like a book that you are interested in reading, but I.
No. I'm saying like a book that you think I would like, but I would probably never choose to read.
I don't know.
And then, because there's a bunch of them, like, I know I have a bunch of books that I've read that you will never read. Mm-hmm. But if you would just read it, you'll never read Fight Club.
I'll read Fight Club. I'll read that.
You'll never read Animorphs, Volume 1.
I will read Animorphs. Look,
We're just looking at our bookshelf.
All those
Goosebumps.
Well, I'm waiting to go back to nursing school. That's when I'm reading those because I'm not gonna let it steal my love of reading again. So I'm gonna be like, no, this Goosebumps book of 120 pages. Yeah, it took me 3 weeks to read it.
Well, what about like if I give you like a comic book, like a graphic novel, like Why the Last Man is a great one?
You are literally saying so many things that I'll read, and I already know the ones I won't read. And if you assign them to me, I won't read them.
Like what? Like what wouldn't you read? Any Stephen King book?
Yes.
Any
Not
Stephen King
even.
book?
Let me see.
I don't know. But what about like would you read a Star Wars book or like? Because I have a bunch of those that are really good.
Yeah,
and Dances with Wolves. Would you ever read that?
And we have Dean Koontz. I've wanted to read that for so long.
Look, I know you're saying this, but like you're saying I would read it. But
I will.
No. Like, but what I'm saying is, would you choose to read it? I know you would, but like, would you? Out of all of our books, would you pick that one off the shelf?
No, because I have so many on my to-be-read list.
That's what I'm saying. I think it would be fun.
Jake. That's why I'm trying to read 15 books this year. So hopefully next year I'll read 20, and then the year after that I'll be in nursing school, so I'll read all the Goosebumps books.
I love how adult you are about it.
Thank you.
All the Goosebumps books.
All of them.
I'm excited about the Goosebumps books. I read them with the kids sometimes. You know, the kids will pick one, I'll pick one.
I've been such a bad mom. I have not been reading Harry Potter.
Stop saying I don't like
Literally
that.
every day.
Gia, please stop. I don't like when you say you're a bad mom.
Well,
you're not a bad mom. You're a real mom. Stop doing. You do it every day. You're like
mother.
You're just hello, mother.
Juice.
I want my juice. Oh, just watch Arrested Development if you don't know what we're talking about. We've also not just books, but we've also been. I finally.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited about this. So for years, I've tried to get Chia to watch.
No, hold on. As you tell this story, you also have to tell why.
I think we've talked about it before.
But I want you to.
Okay, so when me and Chia first got together, we watched a lot of movies. And a big part of those movies were of the horror franchise genres. Yes, that makes more sense. What I'm saying. But
there was one particular
franchise that she didn't get down on, and it was we did like it.
I'm sorry.
I know it's just clicky.
Stop.
Stop. Just quit.
Things aren't all.
Just quit doing it. It's noisy and it's just not fun.
You're
We'll get
noisy.
you a mic soon, and I'll put the mic off the table completely. I'll hang it from the ceiling or something. It'll be close to you, and you can touch everything you want then, but not right now. So. We were watching Nightmare on Elm Street. We were going through all of them, and I was a jerk and scared her a lot while we were watching it. Yes. She would take a shower. I'd go in and shut the light off. I would pretend to be asleep and like jump out at her and all kinds of stuff. I think we have
Freddy voice.
Listen to a previous. I don't know which one. I'm sure it was one of our horror movies. Yeah,
October
we did tell the whole story of it. So it turned her completely off of horror movies. But strangely enough, at the same time, I stopped watching horror movies completely.
Because you scared yourself.
No, I didn't scare myself. I just didn't like them anymore. They weren't the place I was mentally at the time. Like I was trying to be very. It was whenever I first got into church, and I was trying to be like very clear-headed, and I was trying to like mold myself into something else, which I'm not saying is right or wrong. It's just the transition I went through at that time.
We had one that also kind of ruined it for us both for a while.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about it, but it was just too real.
It was too much.
So anyways, we stopped watching them for a while. And then over the last couple years, I've slowly just started watching different ones again. And it's been nice because I used to love those movies. They were growing up, I would watch them with my cousins and my aunts and stuff. I really, really enjoyed them. So the fact that I'm kind of getting back into them now is really, really nice. But Chia still hasn't, and I've not really pushed the subject too much.
In October.
Yeah, you did. You did great in October. I've not really pushed it.
Camp.
And that was so fun.
Yes.
Those were such fun movies.
Yes.
Crazy movies, but fun. So anyways, Sleepaway Camp, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because it brought us into what we're watching now. So Sleepaway Camp was kind of like, a pun intended, a campy, like a retelling of like a Friday the 13th style movie. You know, a bunch of kids go to camp and some bad stuff happens. And I loved the Friday the 13th movies. Those were probably some of my favorite movies growing up. they scared me, but in a different way. I wasn't like terrified or anything like that. So, but I'd not watched them in years.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in a hotel a while back. I think
September
we were
when
in
we were
Memphis.
Nashville-
Yeah,
Memphis.
Memphis. Whenever we went to
I was in
Memphis,
Nashville.
we caught just a little bit of the first Friday the 13th, and Chia wanted to watch it, and I was like, oh, cool, yes, let's definitely do this. And she was into it, but we only caught a little bit because it was on TV. So we've been thinking about it. Yeah, we've been thinking about it more and more. And we get in these moods where it's like if we want something, we devour it. Like
Yeah.
we will watch everything that has to do with it. We will read stuff on it. Like we really, really get into these
Yeah.
things.
Which is
And
why we struggle with weight sometimes, because the shows on the Food Network are just so good.
Sam the Cooking Guy on YouTube.
On
If you
YouTube.
like cooking shows,
yes.
you need to get on YouTube and just look up Sam the Cooking Guy. It is the best cooking show ever. I love it, and I literally was watching it right before we started the podcast. I'm a very big fan of it. So anyways, we recently started watching Friday the 13th. They're all on Stars, I think it is. We watch them on Hulu, but we have Stars on Hulu, so that's probably why they're on there. So we started with the first one, and basically it was like, Chia was like, okay, I'll watch the first one, but I'm not guaranteeing anything else.
Yeah.
Which is completely cool, because if you've watched the movies, the first one's completely different than the rest. So we watched the first one, we really enjoyed it, and we immediately watched the second one. And we really enjoyed that. So we immediately watched the third one. So basically the first night, I think we watched 3. And then last night, I think we watched...
We watched 3. We watched 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, we watched 4, 5, and 6. So we're watching like 3 a night right now.
Yeah.
And I forgot so much about those movies. Like, here's the crazy thing about Friday the 13th. The whole movie is about a guy in a hockey mask, right?
Like, when you think of Jason Voorhees, that's what
you think of the guy in a hockey... Doesn't even put it on until the third movie.
Yeah.
And it's like halfway through the third movie.
Yeah.
He puts it on.
Yep.
Kind of crazy to me. And then the whole it's still not even really going on. Like it happened a little bit in the movie we watched last night. We watched
sporadically throughout the movies, like
but I thought it was like Jaws.
Yeah.
I thought it was like constantly
every time like Jason was following someone, like in your head, that music
is playing, and it's not. Like, and it doesn't even. It might be a little bit in the first one, but I'd have to go back and rewatch it. But it's kind of insane, like how often you see Jason's face.
Oh yeah.
You just see him all the time.
Yeah.
Like I could spot Jason in public.
I think when we watched the 6th movie, maybe that was the first one where you didn't see his face a lot.
But that was because he was a corpse through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that was another like whenever we started watching that one, she was like, "Oh, so this one's supernatural." And I was like, to me, I thought they all were.
Yeah.
Because this dude just won't die.
Yeah.
So there's something going on. But you thought he was like a demon.
Yeah.
Type deal. And you're like, well, I don't want to watch
like
that.
Just a
it's
reanimated corpse.
Yeah,
like
he's just like a ghoul.
Frankenstein's monster type
Yeah,
of
it's
thing.
basically
Only
what's going on.
Frankenstein's monster really has a good heart.
Yeah, it's true. So we've really been enjoying that. And it's kind of got us in like a movie kick. We weren't really watching a lot of movies for a while, so this has been nice. And we were watching it last night, and there were these two stoners that were in the movie. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was the fourth one maybe. But there was the two stoners. I think it was the fourth one. Yeah. It was the one where they go to the girl's farm or whatever that's on the lake. So the funny thing is the guy stoner seemed like he was like these all seem like maybe like late teens, early 20s, and this guy was probably 35.
I think his wife or girlfriend, whoever his lady was, she looked about the same age too.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Like,
I was just
were they supposed to be the chaperones?
I don't know, because I was the whole time watching the movie, I'm like, am I stoned? They're old, right? Like, they're older. They're like me and you wouldn't just go hang out with like a bunch of these kids.
I don't know. It depends on.
You're gonna go to
what kind
Camp
of
Crystal Lake.
Snacks they had. This is Jason's lake.
This is Jason's lake. So we were watching it, and I just kept thinking, like, this guy's way too old to be hanging out with these kids. Why are and no one in the whole time, no one even
addressed it.
no one said anything. No one was just like, "Hey, whose uncle
It's like
is this?"
previous movies. There's always an older guy, but he owns the camp, or he's
There's
in
a reason.
charge.
Yeah, it's my big brother, or it's my cousin that's down for the
These
weekend.
people are just like, "What's up?"
Yeah, they're just like, "Oh, that's Charlie's." Charlie's.
Charlie.
I was gonna say Charlie, but then that was too young, so we're just gonna switch it to Charles. And it came out
No, that's not what
charbroiled.
his name is.
His name's Kevin.
Kevin. And what are all the ladies' names?
They're all Nancy's.
Nancy.
They're
Jake
or
can't
Alice.
remember.
If she survives, I'm gonna call her Alice.
Jake can't remember. And
any name. I cannot
the last
remember a
movie
single
we
name.
watched last night, this little girl's name was Nancy, and Jake got so excited. He was like, "You see, I told
It's like
you."
I told you, Nancy's in this.
One of these days we will
do commentary
during it because
we don't stop
we tear
talking.
these we
make
the
so
whole
much fun
thing.
of it.
We tear these things apart. You know, in the first one, Kevin Bacon straight up belly flopped
It's so funny.
into the lake.
It's like they think that somebody's drowned.
And this girl, she dives in all elegantly, and he just
runs full speed in a
and puts
Speedo.
his arms out like you think he's gonna dive, but he just boom belly flops.
Like you can tell, he's never done a dive in his entire life.
His stomach hurts so bad.
And I wonder, like, how many takes they had him do. I wonder if they're just like, "Hey, Kevin, that was pretty good, but could you do a dive this time?"
I have a feeling that one was a little bit more low budget, so they were probably like, "Keep going, just keep going. We don't have the money to reshoot."
But I like to think though that they were like, "Kevin, that was pretty good, but could you do it again and maybe this time like do a dive?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think I could do that. I think I could do a dive." And then he just does the same thing, and they're like, still kind of doing the belly flop. What we're looking for is more of like a dive. Like, Stephanie, could you do a dive again real quick and show Kevin what we mean?
She's like, "Sure."
And then she does it, and it's elegant, and it's perfect, and there's barely even a splash. And he's like, "Is that not what I'm doing?" Like, he just doesn't get it.
It's the best.
And that's another thing, is like, Kevin Bacon is in the first one.
Every couple movies, there is like one big name actor, like
I wouldn't say every couple movie.
Maybe two of them, because the first one had Kevin Bacon, and then either the fourth or fifth one.
I think it's the fifth one.
Had Corey Feldman and
Crispin Glover.
Marty
Marty McFly's dad is in it, and he's so awkward and creepy. It's so weird because
no. That's the fourth.
Yeah.
One. In the beginning of the fifth one, Corey Feldman is in the beginning.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so crazy. And what's really messed up is we're watching this movie, and Corey Feldman's on screen. And I know, like, as parents, you see your kids in like a lot of different like shows or books or whatever you like, because that's what's on your mind. But dude, Holden looks like Corey Feldman when he was that age.
Absolutely adorable. I love Corey Feldman. I think he's a phenomenal actor, phenomenal human being.
Yeah.
The youngest I seen him, and he was the cutest.
I don't know if he's a phenomenal human being. I mean, what I see seems pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know him personally.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he could not want a pet raccoon, and those people are weird, you know?
But watch, he probably has one. Anyways,
Go on.
You made me lose my train of thought.
He's a phenomenal person. He's the best. He should be the Pope. I get it.
The youngest thing I've ever seen him in was Lost Boys. I've never
What
seen
year
him
was Lost Boys? Are you sure it wasn't Goonies? It was Goonies. Goonies was before Lost Boys. Because Lost Boys was actually supposed to be Goonies with vampires.
I feel like he was younger in the Friday the 13th movie. Maybe not.
I don't know. It was definitely around the same time.
I gotta look.
Yeah, it was definitely around the same time.
Maybe it was because
I do think he was younger. On. Yeah, no, I do think he was young. He was younger in Friday the 13th. Whenever we seen him, I'm almost positive.
Because the Goonies came out in '85. And
84, I think, is whenever the Friday the 13th movie came out.
Yeah, what did we say that was? 4?
I think it was 4.
The final chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it was. And I'm pretty sure it was 1984. Because the first one came out in 1980. And
it was
one
84.
every year.
Why does he look so much younger?
I don't know. Well, but that's when it came
glasses.
out. But that's also when it came out. So we don't know when it was filmed.
But I think it was the glasses because he just reminds me of...
Well, it had to have been filmed like just a year or so before because they count like one comes out every year.
Yeah.
But regardless, so Corey Feldman's in it, and that's great. That's fun. But then Crispin Glover's in it, and Crispin Glover is such a weird choice for a horror movie. I feel, unless it's
came out in '87.
Yeah. Unless unless like Crispin Glover was in Willard and he was the lead in Willard, and that made sense because he was supposed to play like a socially awkward guy. But he's just playing like this guy that's going like, oh, I'm going to go on this weekend trip with all my friends and everything. And it's like, dude, you don't belong here. It was so weird to watch. and then he got laid.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
Good for him.
Okay. Super creepy.
Yeah. However,
like him kissing that girl weirded me out.
He
it was
opens
weird.
his mouth real wide.
He's just and
Like he's going
don't
to
get me wrong, Crispin Glover I feel like is a good actor.
Yeah.
I just felt weirded out watching him as a teenager.
Yeah.
Even though he's not that old in Back to the
of course.
Future, he's close to the same age in Back to the Future. Like that was a couple years later, so it's not that big. You don't have to look it up.
It drives
look
me
it up
nuts.
later. It's not that big of a
Why
deal.
can't I look it up now?
Because then you won't talk.
I do talk.
You don't. You just
do.
stare at your phone, and people are like, "Why is Jake talking so
I
much?"
don't stare at my phone.
Look.
But if you don't know the rules of a horror movie though, you need to watch Scream because it will go over it. So I mean, yes,
It's not always true.
He did get laid, but
Watching these movies lets me know that that's not always true. There's exceptions to the rule. There's a lot of people that I feel. Well, I guess I don't know if they're virgins or not.
no,
I guess that's what it
that
comes
wasn't
down to.
it. You're not supposed to have sex.
But what about the ones that don't and still get killed?
I don't know about that.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's not 100%
That's true
accurate.
because like sometimes you see like
Jamie Kennedy lies. There was a whole experience about
yeah,
it.
that's true. Because what was that one guy's name?
Joey?
Well, the very first one, I don't think Ned or Ted in
Yeah.
the second one.
Which is like just a reskin. That's like just, it's the same NPC. It's
Yeah.
the same non-playable character in a video game. It's just like, no, I'm not Ned. I'm Ted.
Now, me and Jake, we don't have to worry because we're married.
Yeah, we'll be
And
fine. And we
the
also
married
don't
people
go do stuff.
Don't usually get murdered. Now, parents do,
Yeah.
but they're usually like
Divorced.
or widowed or
Yeah,
widow or something.
stop doing it.
Yeah.
That's why we stay together. Like people think, oh, we have such a healthy
No.
relationship.
We don't
want
wanna
to
get
get murdered.
No.
That's all it is. In a slasher film.
Yes.
You know, in real life
No.
it happens, but we're talking about slasher film rules here.
Yeah. Slasher film rules.
So I'm excited to watch more tonight.
Yeah.
We did play a game last week. We were going to play Star Realms, but Chia talked me into playing DC again.
Yes.
Because she'd only played
I
it a couple
like
times.
it.
It's a really fun game. I
love
think I
it.
want to get the one of the expansions.
Oh, I for sure do.
There's a lot of expansions, but I think I'm going to go ahead and
Are
get
we going
one.
to play a new game tonight, or can we play a previously played game?
Yeah, I don't want to play a new one tonight.
I want to play Horrified, because have we played that twice now? You, I think, played it twice. You get to play, like, all these games with all these other people in the world, and I'm just sitting around
I have
like a loser.
okay. All these other people are either our children or Chris Lunsford.
There you go, right there.
That's
there
it.
is. There it is. You get Chris.
Yeah, okay, which is great, and
Where's-
thanks, Chris. I love you, buddy,
Why doesn't
and I'm
Chris
glad
ever
you did.
just want to play a game with me and leave you out of it?
He probably does. He probably does. All my friends like you more than
Yeah.
me. No, they like you at least equal.
Can me and Chris play Girl Talk? Is
I
that what
think
that
he'd
game
love
was
it.
called?
Yeah, I think we should get it.
I never had that game. What was that?
Oh, I think my Xbox is gonna turn off.
Oh.
I don't want that to happen.
You can't turn it back on.
Well, it's a whole process. I don't want to play a thick game. Like I don't want to
thick
play a
game.
game that's gonna take time. Like I want to play just a quick
Can
card
we
game
play
or something.
Phase 10? It's been a while since I beat you in
Yeah,
that.
I played Uno with Jasmine, and it was the Mario
Yeah.
cards.
How'd that go?
Great. I
Nice.
beat her. I beat her.
Nice.
I beat her like 7 times.
You know, we finished another show.
We did. We finished Supernatural.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, we finished watching Supernatural. We watched the last episode finally.
They almost made me mad with the ending.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. But
But they
knew what
corrected
they
it.
knew what they were
yeah.
doing.
We should have just trusted him.
Yeah,
Eric
after
Kripke
15
knows.
years.
Yeah, he knows. No, I think tonight we'll either play Sequence or we'll play something easy like Sequence or
Yeah.
something. But I have something very important to tell you.
what?
I just recently found out something.
What?
You ever heard of Cameo?
Like a cameo?
So there's a website called Cameo, and you can have. This sounds like a sponsorship. We're not sponsored by them or anything. It sounds like I'm like leading into that. I'm not. That'd be cool. No, so Cameo, it's like this website where you can have celebrities.
Like record a message?
Yeah,
for you?
record a message
Yeah.
for you, right? So Tim Capello is on Cameo. And for $50, you can have him send you like a 2-minute video.
Wow.
Yeah, you have no idea who that is.
No.
He's the saxophone player on the Lost Boys. So we were talking about the Lost Boys,
Yeah.
and he's like the sexy guy playing the saxophone in the Lost Boys.
Nice.
That's so incredibly weird when you watch it, and
How random.
it's $50, and I almost feel like doing
love
it.
it.
I almost feel like just to
I
see.
love it.
just to
So,
see. There's so many random people
A
on
minute
there.
ago, we had to pause this because I had to have a bathroom break. And I'm only bringing that up to say this.
What?
Why in the world is there an empty grape juice
thing in the shower. Yeah, I don't know. I assumed your mom put it in there, so I left it.
If it was like the bathtub, I'd be like, oh, okay, the kids are like filling it up and dumping it on their heads or whatever. It's a shower.
Yeah.
What is going on? There's
don't
no
know.
tub.
Yeah, it's just a shower, and there's an empty grape juice bottle in
yeah.
there. I don't know. Maybe it's one of Roman's experiments.
I don't know. They do the weirdest things.
Our kids do experiments. Like Jasmine, we used to have a Dodge Durango that had third row seating, and we never went in the third row.
Like we just like getting in, buckle up.
And we would just like reach back there and grab their clothes and like pick stuff up off the floor and stuff like that, like real quick. But we never went in the third row. And there was cup holders back in the third row that we just never even thought about looking in. And one day I was grabbing something, and there was a water bottle back there, and I went to throw it away, and I picked it up, and it was like had swelled up to where it was about to burst, and it was full of all kinds of stuff. And I was like, "What is this?" And Jasmine came like running up to me, freaking out, and she was like, "Don't get rid of that! Don't get rid of that!" And I was like, "What?" She's like, "It's my experiment." And I was like, oh no, we're getting rid of this. Because 10 more minutes, I feel like it would have exploded in the car and been horrible.
I'm gonna throw up.
It would have been horrible. So we've not even gotten to the topic of the show yet.
I don't even know what the topic is.
I know, and I did this on purpose. So we were talking about Friday the 13th, and we were talking about the stoners that were in Friday the 13th. Yeah. And it had me thinking, like, some of my favorite movies are stoner movies. I'm not a stoner.
Oh, we said something about those the other day because I was thinking about a movie.
Yeah. So, you were thinking about Sing Your Trip, which is a great flick.
It is.
Really good movie. No one ever talks about that movie.
No,
Sing Your Trip is
it's
really
so
good. So, I do not partake, but I am what I refer to as perma-stoned. I did enough to where I'm fine. I can coast on what I did for the rest of my life, and I feel pretty good about it. So some of my favorite movies are what you would consider like stoner movies, and I was kind of curious like what the top 10 stoner movies are. Mm-hmm. And so you don't know what I looked up. You don't know what these are.
You don't? I didn't know. Is there another list under
there was
there?
A list under it. So you don't know about this. So this is, according to rollingstone.com, this is the top 10 stoner movies of all time. And I guarantee...
Are we going 1 to 10?
We're going to go 10 to 1.
Okay.
You go down with this. So I guarantee you will not be able to know what number 10 is. Just take a guess.
Number 10. Do I know the movie?
I would think, I'll give you a hint. Christian Slater's in it.
It's not Heathers, is it?
It's not Heathers.
A stoner film.
No. So I would not have considered this a stoner flick, personally. But it came out in 1993.
It's not Robin Hood.
No, man, I forgot he was in that. That is such a good.
That's
good. With Kevin Costner.
Yes.
Kevin Costner is probably the greatest.
Oh yeah.
I watch so many of his movies. Yeah. I want to watch The Postman.
Yeah.
That was a book I read a few years ago that was really, really good.
Yeah?
I can't find it.
Huh.
I have it somewhere. Anyways, 1993, Christian Slater. I believe Patricia Arquette. I didn't look any of this stuff up. I don't have any real facts. I'm just throwing out names. True Romance.
I don't even know what that is.
I've not seen it since I was probably 13.
Yeah.
So, but I don't, I'm surprised that this was on the list of top 10 best stuff. And it's because Brad Pitt is in it, and he's a stoner in it. And I feel like I think his name is Floyd.
Really?
Yeah. I could be wrong, but I feel like his name is Floyd.
Huh.
And he's just, stoned throughout the whole movie. But, to me, I was like, well, that's not a stoner movie. Yeah. It's Brad Pitt.
Oh.
Absolutely, he plays a great stoner. I'm also very big. I'm your typical white guy.
Yeah.
Love Brad Pitt. Love Kevin Costner. I'm okay with these.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah. So, True Romance, 1993. Brad Pitt's character. It's said that James Franco's character in Pineapple Express was actually
Based on that?
he kind of based the way he acts off of, which I thought was cool. You know, I thought it was good. So that's number 10. Number 9. Any guesses? Any guesses for number 9?
Cheech and Chong movie.
No, at number 9.
I mean, I figured it'd be
who am I
for
married to?
I don't know. Scooby-Doo.
There is a dog in it.
Okay.
There is a dog in it.
It's,
It's not what you're thinking though. There's a Snoop Dogg in it.
Oh, okay. Is it Scary Movie 5?
No, it's Soul Plane.
Oh.
Again, kind of surprised this was on the
Yeah.
list. So I'm not saying Soul Plane's a bad movie. It's just I wouldn't really consider that a stoner movie. Now in the
I don't think I've seen that either.
in the film at one point, I believe Snoop Dogg gets so high that he dies while flying the plane because he's the pilot. So I guess yeah, but I don't like the
The
to
premise
me
of it is
to me a stoner movie is a movie that is about getting high.
yeah.
Or like surrounded by like your main characters are constantly stoned or trying to get high
yeah.
or something's going on. Like to me that's a stoner flick.
Yeah.
So far I'm not impressed with this list.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's okay. Maybe we'll do like our own top 10 later.
Yeah.
So that's Soul Plane that came out in 2004. Number 8. Number 8 also surprised me. I'll give you a hint.
Yes.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
They don't, to my knowledge, they don't smoke weed in this movie at all.
Well,
But they seemed stoned the entire
I have
time.
no idea.
It's a duo. It's 2 guys.
I have no idea.
They're in a band. And the band is Wild Stallions.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, so Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
I look at them as stoners.
So number 8 is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, 1989. Again, they do not do any drugs in the movie, but they're stoners
But
for sure.
It's the same as Scooby-Doo. Like, Shaggy smokes.
And Scoob.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's for kids, so they can't show you that.
Sure, but at the same time, I don't smoke and everyone thinks I do. Like, I feel like my life is a stoner film, but I don't smoke. So, I don't know. Who knows? Number 7, now we're starting to get into some that I'm like, I feel like the rest of them all make sense.
Okay.
So, number 7.
Harold and Kumar.
Close. It came out in 1995. So Harold and Kumar came out a little bit later. So this came out in 1995. I will say this. When we were watching Friday the 13th the other night, I was like, this movie makes no sense. And you were like, why? And I said, because Chris Tucker's not in any of these.
So Friday.
Friday. So the movie Friday with Ice Cube and Chris Tucker, 1995.
I watched this movie, Friday the 13th, and I heard great things about it. Chris Tucker's supposed to be real funny.
Yeah.
And he just never showed up.
I never seen Ice Cube. The soundtrack's really not as good as everybody was hyping it up to be. I don't understand this.
I thought it was supposed to be more in like a
just in the city, yeah.
In the city, and it was
it's
out
in
in
the
the woods.
camp. I was like, is Ice Cube going camping? And then it turns out I was just watching Are We There Yet?
Stop.
So number 7, that one I agree with. Friday, 1995. I definitely agree that that's a stoner film, which is funny because it's like Ice Cube doesn't get high in the movie. Or he hasn't been high before, and then he gets high in this movie.
Yeah.
But like the great thing about Friday is it all takes place on one day.
One day, yeah. On Friday.
then the great thing is that like the next movie is literally just a week later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and Ice Cube wrote Friday.
Yeah.
Like that. It's really cool. It's a great movie.
Love it.
I'm a very big fan of that. So number 6. I'll give you a hint. Number 6 came out in 2004, and you said it a second ago.
Oh, Harold and Kumar.
Hair mold. Do you have an issue with hair mold? Are you needing to get all that hair mold removed? Well, thank our sponsor this week, Hair Mold No More. I'm an idiot. Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. It came out in 2004. This movie, I feel like when this movie came out, it was like the perfect time for me.
Yeah.
So 2004, how old am I in 2004?
You are 17.
I'm 17 years old.
We started dating in 2005.
There's no way.
Yeah.
I'm 17 in 2004.
Well, in 2007, you were 20 and we got married.
It's crazy. Okay, so
How old did you think you were?
I don't know. That's why I asked you. I don't want to do math. So Harold and Kumar came out when I was 17, which means that the first time I watched this movie, I was under the influence and probably ended up wanting White Castle really bad that night. You know,
Don't even.
Okay.
Just keep going with the list.
All right.
We're not going to talk about this.
I still, to this day, will only refer to Neil Patrick Harris as NPH.
NPH won't do that.
And the thing is that I don't feel like Harold and Kumar get enough credit.
Yeah.
There are so many quotable moments, and that to me, that's what a great movie is.
Oh yeah,
because I quote movies a lot, and it's like if I can quote multiple scenes in this movie, it's a great movie.
The movie we probably quote more than anything is Scream.
Yeah, that's true. We do. Yeah, I'll be right back. Yeah, we do. We quote it a lot. We quote a lot of movies to each other, and it's wonderful.
Sometimes that's just our language.
It's a secret.
To each other.
It's a secret to a happy.
We have done
happy
it
marriage.
multiple times on the podcast. We've done it multiple times during this podcast. This particular
we just
one.
do this.
Jeez.
We just do that. So, what'd you just say? Oh, jeez. I thought you said cheese. Oh, yeah. Are you Rodney's kid brother? Cheese. Didn't we lock you in a dumpster one time? I got out. Cool, man. Okay, so that's not on this list. If anybody knows what movie that's from, comment on our group page on Facebook, Jake Ribble's Blessed Ones, and let us know what quote that was from. So that was Harold and Kumar. Love that movie so much. We're at number 5 now. So that was number 6. Number 5, I did not write down when this movie came out. I didn't. I think I'm stoned. I just stopped writing down years. I got halfway through, and then I was just like, nah.
You're such an idiot.
I know, it's so dumb. I have no idea why.
Be a professional podcaster and
my handwriting.
They don't need this information.
My handwriting even changed. I feel like if anyone, no, you can't look at it.
Look at it.
No, I'm looking it up. It's fine. I feel like if anyone looked at my handwriting, they would be like, "Oh yeah, he's a serial killer." Because it goes from like really, really nice,
I know
but then
you'll
towards
write me
the
a
end,
love letter and it's nice, and then all of your like when you're supposed to capitalize and stuff changes, and then you just start gluing in stuff from magazines.
I just get bored. It's called crafting. I'm very crafty. Okay, so this came out in 2001. All right, it's rated R. It's an hour and 33 minutes long. I'm just gonna give you all the details.
Do I know this movie?
You should know this movie. I do think that you probably you should. I think you should. Yeah. It stars two. Honestly, it stars 2 of my favorite rappers. Yeah. Kevin Costner is referred to in this film. Okay, come on, Chia.
Favorite rappers?
Yeah, 2 of my favorite rappers are in this.
Oh.
Do you know?
I know.
Do you know?
I think I know the rappers.
Who do you think the rappers are?
I feel like one of them's Redman.
Okay, you're on the right track. You're on the right track.
It.
You're doing good.
It.
Who's the other one?
I see it. I can't think of what the other one's name is.
can't
Method Man.
Oh my gosh, you're doing so good. You're doing so good. You're right there.
I see the movie.
You're right there. You're so close.
I feel like at one point they're standing in woods. No.
I probably.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they kind of are because they are in Harvard in this film.
Stealing Harvard?
No,
I don't know what it is. I don't know what
Stealing
it is.
Harvard?
No, I don't.
That's Jason Lee and Tom Green.
Wait, are they the main people in this movie?
Yes.
Then I have no idea.
Okay, it's called How High.
Oh, okay.
I love this movie.
Yeah.
Like, to a fault. Like, I've watched this movie so many times. And I don't know, it got a 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb. So, I feel like that's a good, but that's not high enough. I don't think so. Mike Epps is also in this film.
Is he?
Yeah, which is cool because there's a lot of
It's been a long time since I've seen this.
There's a lot of people in this movie. Man, it is so good. Lark Voorhees is actually
Is
in
there
it.
on the cover? Is it what year did this come out?
This came out in 2001. There's the cover of it right there. It's so
okay.
good. It's very, very good. If you've not seen How High and you like stoner movies, you should probably watch it. Did you hear me say Lark Voorhees is in it, though?
I don't know who that
That's
is.
Lisa Turtle from Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
So that's cool, because she's not in a whole lot of things. Okay, so that was number 5. Now, number 4, number 4 is a tricky one.
Okay.
You do know this film.
Okay.
I've seen all of these. It is a franchise.
Okay.
And
It's a Cheech and Chong movie.
It is a Cheech and Chong movie.
Okay.
Can you guess which Cheech and Chong movie it is, though, at
I feel
number
like
4?
there's going to be more than one Cheech and Chong movie on this
Nope,
list.
this is the only one.
Is-
Strangely enough, this is the
Okay.
only one. But I think they
Alright.
secretly kind of try to tie them all in together. This
I'm
is
just
great.
going to
Yeah,
go with Nice Dreams.
I'm proud of you for
Mm-hmm.
throwing that out there. Whenever most people would say Up in Smoke or Still Smoking, I'm very proud of you for throwing that out there.
Nice Dreams was the first one I seen.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So technically, there is the Stoner trilogy.
Okay.
Cheech and Chong's Stoner trilogy.
Yeah.
That is, to my knowledge, on this list, the only trilogy that there is.
So that's
most
what it
stoners.
is. Number 4 is the Cheech and Chong.
No, it is
Oh.
Cheech and it is the second film in the Stoner trilogy, which would be
Still Smoking?
no, next movie. So it's Cheech and Chong's next movie.
Oh.
So there's Up in Smoke, next movie, and then there's Nice Dreams. And I think that those are probably
When's Still Smoking come out?
after.
Oh. Why is it a trilogy then? If there's a fourth.
Because I think the years that these probably came out, they were so close together and stuff, and that they all maybe were like technically like the same characters or something like that. I'm not sure. I think I've watched every Cheech and Chong
I love
film
watching
a couple
Cheech
times.
and Chong, like to go to sleep. It's so comforting.
Well, so Cheech and Chong was my first comedy experience.
Yeah.
My dad loved the movies whenever I was growing up, and it's the first thing I really remember watching that was a comedy movie. And so Cheech and Chong's next movie, it came out in 1980.
If you ever, by the way, hear us talking about going to sleep to a show or a movie, it is in no way because it's boring. It's a comfort to us.
Yeah.
For maybe 6 months straight, I put the same movie on every night to fall asleep to. Mm-hmm. You remember what it was?
Talladega Nights.
I don't know
Every
why,
night, yeah.
but I just falling asleep to Talladega Nights was so comforting to me.
Yeah, it's nice. What's my go-to sleep movie?
Dances with Wolves.
Has been my whole life.
Yeah.
It's
It's an
again,
amazing film.
It's
just
one.
comfort.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
I always-
Okay, so Cheech and Chong's next movie was number 4. Fun fact about anyone who's never seen this movie: Pee Wee Herman is definitely in it.
Yeah.
And I actually, this is when I first seen Pee Wee Herman, was in the Cheech and Chong movies, because he's in a couple of them, I believe. And that's the first time I seen him. So then later, whenever I watched Pee Wee's Playhouse, I was like, oh, this is Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
And I just kept waiting. Like, Cowboy Curtis would come through the door, and I'm like, where's Cheech? Like, when's Cheech and Chong going to show up in the show? And they never did. To my knowledge, I don't know. So then, all right, that was number 4. So we're at number 3 now. We're getting down to the final 3. These are supposedly, according to RollingStone.com, these are the 3 greatest stoner movies that have ever
I'm not going
been
to get it
made.
because I feel like it'll be wrong, but okay.
Okay, so this came out, I'll give you a hint. It came out in 2008.
2008?
This movie came out in 2008, and we have referenced it once so far in this list. We've talked about it. It has come up.
Scooby-Doo.
It's not Scooby-Doo. You need to quit pushing your agenda on us, okay? Scooby-Doo is not a stoner movie.
Yes, it is.
Scooby-Doo is
Have
a good
you
movie. No.
lost your mind? The entire Scooby-Doo franchise is a stoner franchise.
No, it's a good movie to watch while stoned,
No.
but that's not what I'm considering a stoner movie.
Okay.
No, Fred is not hitting it. Fred's not hitting it. Well, he's in something. He's in something. I mean, let's be honest. Fred's in something. But he's not he's not smoking left-handed cigarettes. Okay? He's not.
Marijuana cigarettes.
Yeah, he's not. So 2008,
And we referenced it?
we referenced it at the very beginning of this whenever I talked about True Romance.
Oh my god, that was so long ago.
I know. At this point,
because
you
all I
know-
remember talking about is Heathers.
So we talked about True Romance. Let's go ahead. Go into your mind palace, Chia.
Okay, my
if you
mind
will. Go into
palace.
your mind palace. Remember the conversation we had
I'm going
about
through.
True Romance. We talked about who's in it. We talked about the characters that are in it. We talked about possibly characters that were based off characters in it and later films that came
Yes,
out into
Pineapple Express.
You did it. You did
I
it.
did it.
All by
Thank you.
yourself. You
Thank
did it all.
you.
I'm very excited. So Pineapple Express came out in 2008. This is
Okay,
one of
I'll
my
take
favorite.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
This movie made me just like I already really liked James Franco, but this movie really made me fall in love with him. And since we're talking about James Franco, and I don't feel like he gets enough love, I feel like a lot of people kind of poo-poo on him, which isn't right, and you shouldn't do that. Because he's really putting some good work out there. I want to just throw. Can we just talk about James Franco for a second, Chia? Are
We
you
can
okay
do
with
whatever
that?
we want.
We do it. It's our show.
podcast,
It's our
yeah.
show. We've gone over an hour.
Yeah.
This may end up being the longest podcast we've done, and I'm okay with that. It started off weird. The true fans stayed with us.
That's true.
Everyone's still listening. I'm not gonna creep in your windows. You know. So here's some fun stuff about James Franco. In 1999, James Franco played Jason in a little movie with Drew Barrymore called Never Been Kissed.
Really?
James Franco was in Never Been Kissed. Crazy, right?
Oh, okay.
So
Okay, yeah.
James Franco, his very first credit was in a movie called Pacific Blue that had Slater from Saved by the Bell in it. And that's right, his name's Mario Lopez, but I'm going to
Nice,
call him
Slater.
Slater. It's AC Slater. So he was in one episode of that, and then a couple years later, he was in Never Been Kissed. I'm just gonna go ahead now. In 1999, James Franco was in 18 episodes of one of my favorite sitcoms.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say one of your favorite long shows. So I was gonna say Days of Our Lives. So
Let's talk for another day. He was in what show? In 1999. This is a fun game show within the game show because we're down to the final two after this.
Friends?
No,
No,
18
Seinfeld.
Freaks and Geeks.
Oh,
Yeah, very big fan
you
of
said
Freaks and
99,
Geeks.
didn't you?
Yeah, it was on 1999 to 2000.
Sorry.
That show should have been on so much longer. Now here's something that I didn't know about James Franco. He was in an episode of The X-Files.
Oh,
Yeah, he was Officer Number 2. There's been a lot of people that was in the X-Files, though.
yeah.
So then...
I feel like the X-Files is one of those things, like, even if you're a big name actor, you're like, I just need to get on it for a little bit because it's so iconic. That they just want to
probably,
be a
like
part
fans.
of it.
Yeah, I agree. I would do a lot of those, probably. Do you know what his, I guess you could say, breakout role was in film? The first movie he was really in, it was in 2002. And he played someone's best friend. He played Harry Osborn in 2002 in the Spider-Man movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was
yeah.
kind of like his breakout role.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just a fan of James Franco,
Yeah.
and that's why I want to talk about these. He was in a movie in 2002 called Sunny, so that's one that's worth watching. He was Harry Osborn again in 2004 for Spider-Man 2. And I'm not a big fan of the Spider-Man franchise. I don't like Tobey Maguire in these movies. I like Tobey Maguire. He's an okay actor and other things, but I just did not like the Spider-Man
I like
movies.
the new ones.
Yeah, I know a lot of people loved the Spider-Man movies, and that's
And I
great.
did like the Amazing Spider-Man.
He was in The Wicker Man in 2006 as Bar Guy Number 1. So here's a cool thing that I think this is kind of cool, is that he's like playing these roles like in Spider-Man and stuff like that. Like it's a significant role. But then he'll just be in a movie as Bar Guy Number 1. You know? And then in 2006 he was in a movie called Fly Boys. I've never seen it, but I know what the movie is. I don't want to make it seem like I have. Now he was in the movie with Jack Black and Cameron Diaz called The Holiday. And it was, if you can hear snoring, it's our dog. She's snoring behind us, and it's okay. So he was in The Holiday. That's fun. I think that's really neat. But then in 2007, he was in Knocked Up
No.
as Saul.
Yeah.
Isn't that the name of the guy in Pineapple Express that he plays? Because it says uncredited it. So now we need to go back and watch
What?
Knocked Up. Is he in the movie?
Is he a dealer in the movie?
That's what I'm wondering. Do we need to go back? Do we not know something about this? we should go back and watch Knocked Up and see who he is in this movie. Because I feel like
Seth Rogen's character is different.
yeah, but still, I mean, they can do whatever they want. So then he was in Spider-Man 3, of course. But in Spider-Man 3, he was the New Goblin. You know, Harry Osborn, the New Goblin. Now, here's the thing. In Knocked Up, it says his name was Saul, but it says S-O-L is his name. And then in Pineapple Express, which is a 2008, it's Saul, S-A-U-L.
Oh.
So
I think they're different.
I think so, too. But we need to watch it just because. And then he was in Milk, the movie Milk. He was in that with Sean Penn. That's great. He was in Date Night with Tina Fey and Steve Carell. I don't remember him being in that movie, but he was in it. We only watched it once, though.
Yeah.
And then he was in 127 Hours. I've not watched that movie because that movie freaks me out. That's the one where the guy's hiking or whatever and he gets his arm trapped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the movie freaks me out. Turns out he was also in the Green Hornet movie with Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
I didn't remember him being in that.
I remember that.
I don't remember him being in that at all. Then he was in that movie, Your Highness. But then, here's where he really, to me, was starting to shine.
Yeah.
And he's been in some great stuff, and you see that he's a really good actor in all those movies. But in 2011, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He did so good in those movies.
Oh, so amazing.
Oh, man, he did so good. I was very happy about that. Yeah, I was like, man, you're doing good. Now, in 2012, he was in a movie called Spring Breakers. Do you remember us watching that?
Yeah, we did.
It was a weird movie.
It.
Yeah, it was a weird movie. You can watch it if you want. He played Oz in Oz, the Great and Powerful movie. That was pretty cool. And he played in 2013 he was in the movie As I Lay Dying, which is based off a very popular book. And then 2013 he was in This Is the End. I'm getting bored with this, so if you want to know any more movies that James Franco was in,
IMDb it.
Yeah, you can do it yourself at home in your spare time, when you're in the restroom, when someone's talking to you and you're like, let me just look it up, and then you just want to look at something else instead. You can just look up films that James Franco was in. He was in 145 of them.
Wow.
He's doing good. So that brings us back to the main game that we're playing. So that's Pineapple Express. Again, it's so good. It's so good. Number 2 on the list. Now we're getting somewhere, Chia. Do you have any guesses on what it could be? Now I'll give you a hint. Okay, I'm gonna give you a couple hints. The movie came out in 1993. We love this movie.
Okay.
Like, we love this movie.
Okay. 93.
The star of this movie is named after a band.
Ooh.
A very well-known band.
Like their character?
Their
is
character,
named
yes.
after a band.
Correct. There are a lot of stars in this movie before they got famous.
93, stoner film.
Now, this is 100% a stoner film.
Oh my God.
Do you want me to start giving you hints
Yes.
to who's in it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start with names you don't know.
Okay.
Wiley Wiggins plays Mitch.
Oh, Dazed and Confused.
There you go. Good girl. Good girl. I almost didn't say Mitch.
Just
if I wouldn't have said Mitch, you wouldn't
Who
have
are
got
you
it.
going to say?
What do you mean? No. If I just would have said Wiley, it's
no.
probably it might be Willie.
No.
Willie makes more sense, but it's spelled like Wiley.
No. As soon as you said the London character, though, I would have known.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say Jason London.
And
that's why you said London, because we don't know
Jason or Jeremy,
because I don't know if it's him or his brother, because they look just alike. So,
because they're twins.
Dazed and Confused.
That's why they look.
I know, but I'm just
These
like,
twin brothers.
it's freaking me out, man.
Identical twin brothers.
Why do they look so? Why do they look so much alike?
Oh my God! Yes.
Dazed and Confused is such a good movie. So it takes place. It came out in 1993, but it takes place in 1976. That's pretty cool. So here's what's crazy though. Is that so? Let's say how many years difference is that?
What it came out in? It was set in 70 what?
76.
76.
Yeah.
And it came out in 93.
Yeah, so that's like 17 years.
Yeah.
So basically, it's set 17 years in the past, which means that if that movie came out now, it would be take place in like 2004.
Yet literally watching that movie, Mom was like, "That's my life. That was my life growing up."
Yeah, because it takes place in Texas in 1976, and she was on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, because
crazy.
she had her first baby in 79 when she was 20.
Right. You're really far away from the mic now.
Yeah, she
I
would
know
have
you're
been
just like lounging.
Texas,
but-
California area. Yeah.
So that one deserves to be number 2 on the list. I feel like I'm with
Number
Rolling.
2.
Yeah, that's right, buddy. You show that turd who's boss. I definitely think that should have been on the list. Okay, so now we're at the number 1.
Okay.
This is according to RollingStone.com. They're saying this is the number 1 stoner movie of all time.
Okay.
So a couple hints. Outrageously, it has an 8.1 out of 10. And it should clearly be a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
It should clearly be a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
This movie came out in 1998.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of how to give you a hint without you getting it. Like, it can't be too obvious of a hint.
Do I like this movie?
You love this movie.
Okay.
Um,
Did we watch this movie together?
We have multiple times.
Okay.
We've seen this movie hundreds of times.
Okay.
What do you think it is?
Do I like the director?
No.
It's not a Kevin Smith film?
There's not a single Kevin Smith movie on this list, which is real weird to me. Yeah, so we'll get to that in a second because we'll talk about ones that should be on the list in a minute. So
1998.
I'm gonna give you just a couple. I'm gonna throw out some names of the characters and just see if you get them. One of the characters' name's Maud. That's in it. I'm gonna start with obscure ones.
Okay.
Because I can't start with just normal ones. Someone's name is Brant in the movie.
Okay.
Um,
I'm not gonna get this.
someone is named Wu in the movie.
Okay.
I'm getting closer to where you should be getting it at this point. Flea is in this movie. Still nothing?
No. Keep going.
Okay. Let's Philip Seymour Hoffman is in this movie.
No.
Tara Reid is in this movie.
Oh, okay.
What do you think it is?
No, because that's not a stoner film.
What?
No.
What?
No, it's not American Pie, so.
It's not American Pie. And that's why I said Tara Reid is because I knew you would go there.
Okay.
I knew that's where you were going to go.
Okay.
Look at my face. Look at me.
I'm looking at you.
What movie is number 1?
I don't know. I can't
Take
see it in
in-
your glasses.
No. Take in my image.
Yes.
Look at everything about me
Yes.
personally.
Is it the dude?
It's the dude.
Okay.
So
Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski came
Okay,
out in
I agree.
1998. It is the number 1 stoner film of all time according to RollingStone.com. I also agree with that. Big Lebowski is what I get called more like I get called the dude so
I always
much.
forget that that's Tara Reid.
And I'm completely cool with that. Yeah, Bunny Lebowski. I'm cool with that because I love this movie. I love it so much. I loved it since the first time I've seen it. I've seen it I don't know how many times. And really, I do try to just be as dude as possible. You know, bad stuff happens. You try to go through it. Sometimes it's okay if you just flip out while trying to work yourself through it. Your friends are going to bring up nom sometimes, and that's okay. You know? So now let's talk about some movies that should have been on.
Kevin Smith
number 1,
movies
Kevin Smith.
should have been on there.
I definitely think Kevin Smith
to
movies.
not have a Jay and Silent Bob film just doesn't make sense.
That's it's completely outrageous. I don't understand why. Also, Half-Baked?
Yeah, I kept thinking.
So
you
they
were gonna
put
bring up
true
Half-Baked.
romance
Yeah,
and
but
not Half-Baked.
Yeah.
Wow.
Senior Trip, again, another one.
I don't know if I'd put Senior Trip on there. Senior Trip's a great movie and everything, but top 10 to me, I don't know if that's a top 10
I don't know. It's a
movie.
really good movie.
It is, but at the same time, like when we've not watched that movie in a long time, would it hold up? Like the movies I'm talking about, like they hold up. Like you could watch a Kevin Smith
True
movie.
Romance does?
I don't know.
Oh, the one
I
you're
didn't
saying
put that on
should
there.
be on
Yeah.
there. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. There's even though like I don't know a lot of the Pauly Shore movies where he smoked, but it's kind of weird that Pauly Shore's not on the list at all.
Yeah.
I'm sure he smoked in Son-in-Law. in the very beginning, like where in the dorm, when they're in the dorm. Maybe not, but it's probably at least hinted at. Yeah, because I think he's wearing like a gas mask or something like that.
I feel like
at one point. So,
I feel like it.
and Pauly Shore's another person that I feel bad for. I feel like he gets a bad rap. I loved Pauly Shore movies.
What about Fast Times?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High is also not in it. But at the same time, again, is that a stoner film? Because Spicoli's a stoner in it. But would you consider it a stoner film? But then also, like... Go ahead.
I got another one that really should have. Dude, Where's My Car?
Dude, Where's My Car should have been on it.
Yeah.
Should have. It definitely should have. And I don't know what ones I would take off. I mean, I would definitely take off True Romance and Soul Plane. And as much as I hate to say it, I think I would probably take off Bill and Ted. Because although Bill and Ted is technically like stoners, it's not a stoner movie. Like they don't smoke weed in the movie. They don't do anything like, which is great. And it's because then it's more kid friendly and everything. And I understand it, but it's just kind of weird to me that they didn't put any Kevin Smith on there. They didn't put Half Baked on there. Like
no Tenacious D.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I would put Tenacious D on there. Would you?
I don't know.
You would put Tenacious D on there?
They got the bod.
Okay. All right, so we're an hour and a half into this. I think we're going to go ahead and end it now.
Yeah.
I think we did a good we had fun with this. I enjoyed it.
It's far out.
It's far out, man.
This
This is one of the best podcasts you're ever going to listen to, brother. It's so good. You're going to love it. You're going to like it. Everything about this podcast, this whole episode, man, it's just out there. It's out of sight. It's so good. So thank you for listening. What if I just did that all the time? That'd be weird.
After a while, I'd make you stop.
Yeah. I was sick of it. Whenever I was gonna try to do it the rest of the time, and there's just no way. So thank you very much for listening to another episode of Laugh and Be Blessed with Jake and Chia. Again, we're on social media. You can find us. It's not hard. Jake Rubel's Blessed Ones on Facebook.
We won't think you're a creeper.
Yeah, we won't think you're a creeper. I'm sure not one. So, yeah. I mean, if you listen to any of these, you know all the things that I say. You should go to Soulshine Studios and buy a t-shirt.
Yes.
They're great shirts. We're wearing matching shirts right now. If you want to see what they look like, Chia just posted a picture of us on her Facebook page. So that's Chia Rubel. So thank you very much for everything that you do. Thank you very much for sticking with us throughout this fun episode. I like the long ones. I
like the long
I know
ones.
A lot of people might be like, man, it's a little long.
Yeah.
But hey, I got a message from somebody. And maybe I should have brought this up earlier, but I got a message from somebody that just recently heard about our podcast from a friend of ours podcast, the Beautiful Wreck podcast. And Rachel does that, and she had mentioned us. So this person checked out our podcast, and she wrote us this really sweet message. She wrote both of us a message really, really sweet about how much she likes the show and everything. And she listens to it while she's at work. And so, Heather, hopefully this got you through, a little bit longer day of work. Because that's what we're here for. We're just here to be a blessing. We're going to laugh and we're going to have fun. And we get into some real stuff sometimes. This was a very well-rounded episode.
I love it.
We got into some sad stuff. We got into some fun stuff. We got into some hippie stuff. And then we finished on stoner movies.
I think it's perfect.
There's only one thing left to say. Really, after so much good conversation and so much just happiness, so much good stuff going on, there's only one thing left to say, and that's
laugh and be blessed.
Not suck it.
Suck it.